Only way forward is for Arab countries to come along with Israel, a prosperous Middle East, a Middle East where Isaac and Ishmael reconcile, a Middle East where the children of Abraham thrive, live together, a Middle East where the prophecy of Isaiah becomes true when he said, Lo yasa goy el goy heref velo yilmidu od milhama. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. They shall learn war no more.
This is why Netanyahu may not be aggressive enough. While Israel strategizes based on missiles, nukes, and military capability, Iran is strategizing based on theology and destiny.
Hey, Jadri Fate Talk. We're watching this Muslim guy who's supporting Israel defending itself from Iran and Afghanistan. And he's saying, hey, Israel, do what you got to do.
I want you to watch this video as he talks about the war of Palestinians and Hamas and also Iran. Is this a religious war or there is more to this?
There's a difference between radical Islamists and Muslims. There's a difference between the Palestinians and Hamas. And there's a difference, a real difference between pro-peace camp and pro-war camp. I always say, when I speak to Muslim audience, even if I had the chance to speak to the protesters who would say, stop the war is ugly, I say, of course I would call for stopping the war right now, the war in Gaza. Absolutely, it's an ugly war. But let's not forget, it's an ugly war that Israel didn't want, didn't ask for, and didn't start. It's a war that Hamas started, and it can end it yesterday, not today, if they release the hostages and lay down their arms. Let's end the war. Let's end the war, really. I was born and raised as a very religious Muslim. To those who outside chanted, you are a kafir, by the way. They chanted, you are a kafir. Kafir means infidel, person who doesn't believe in God. Well, I'm sorry to break the news to them. I memorized the whole Quran at the age of 17. I was a very religious Muslim. You can clap. 114 chapters, that's not easy. It's not like the Tanakh, so many books. So I memorized the Quran. I was a very religious Muslim, but my views changed when I was exposed to the Jews for the first time. For the first time, I was exposed to the Jews at the age of 27. At the age of 27, 16 years ago, in France, Paris, I learned more about Jews. I learned more about Judaism. I learned more about the commonalities that we have. And I decided to encounter the hate that I was indoctrinated with, and I put it face to face, and I had the chutzpah, or the courage, to say, this is wrong, and I want to learn the truth. And this is why many of those who hate Jews, by the way, haven't met a Jew in their life. Many of those who hate Israelis haven't met Israelis in their life. Ignorance is not a bless, as many people say, but ignorance is the greatest enemy for peace. So, I do remember that when I was a religious Muslim, I'm still a Muslim, of course, but not a mishuga, in Hebrew, a crazy extremist who hates Jews, hates Israelis, no. But as someone who really changed with knowledge, facts, and the truth, I have the keys to dismantle the hate. I do remember when I came back from Paris at that time to Saudi Arabia, I had a discussion with my mother that I met. I stayed with a Jewish family. I'm exposed now to the Jews. I want to learn more. I'm investing my time to learn Hebrew, to learn the Bible, to learn the Jewish history, and to learn. My mom, God bless her, told me, Lu'ay, you are under a sudden fascination by this Jewish family. It will go away in 2 months. 16 years and counting. 16 years and counting. And when October 7 happened, that was the pivotal point to me to say that if you really change, you have to speak up. Why are you afraid to speak up? Did you really change? Did you really expunge the bad ideas that you had in your chest? Or are you afraid to speak up? I said, no, I did change and I'm going to speak up. I know there's a price to pay, but I'm willing to pay the price. You know why you're willing to pay the price? Because I didn't change with emotions or just because I love Israelis or I love the Jews. No, because I really learned facts that I was indoctrinated with ignorance against those facts when I was young. Facts about Israel, facts about the Jewish people, facts about the region, facts that are the biggest hurdle for peace in our region, and I will get to tell you more about that. So I realized many things that we were indoctrinated with, that they were wrong, and I assure you that many of those protesters outside are still indoctrinated with. Those who support Hamas in the West, I can assure you they haven't read Hamas charter. They haven't. And I spoke to many Americans, white Gen Z's Americans in Providence, Rhode Island University, and I told them, excuse me, have you read the Hamas charter? He said, yes, I have read both charters, the watered down one in 2017 and the original one in 1988. Please show it to me. He showed me the link. He said, you haven't read it. I said, here it is, the charter. He said, you haven't read it in Arabic. If you don't speak Arabic, you don't know what the charter says about their belief of the eternal enmity against Jews, of their total destruction of Israel. And by the way, they hate even Jews who are not, how to say this, who do not believe in the state of Israel. The Houthis, when they wave a flag that says, curse be upon the Jews, it's because they haven't met a Jew in their life. They only know the Jews from Israel because Israel identifies itself as a Jewish state. Well, this is the problem with those who don't know the Middle East. There are Jews in Yemen who did not go to Israel. There are Jews in Yemen who I met in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, who said, we don't want to go to Israel. We are Yemenis. We didn't want to leave Yemen, but we were persecuted by the Houthis just because we are Jews. People in the West, like this gentleman, they don't understand that the real reason to hate Jews is a religious reason that stems from a radical extremist ideology and interpretation that we need Muslim scholars to say it is wrong and we need to move past it. But we don't have these encouraged or these courageous voices yet. Israel is not fighting on its behalf. Israel is fighting on behalf of humanity.
So you've heard from the horse's mouth. This is a war of religion. That's why they are fighting the Israelites. They've been indoctrinated since they were young to hate the Israelites, the Jew. And they will keep fighting because this is like a holy war to the Muslims. And they are believing that they are preparing a way for their Mahdi, who is like a form of Jesus. And they believe that by eliminating the Jew, that he will be
ushered back into this world.
Yes.
So this is explanation of their Mahdi.
Al-Mahdi will come at a time from the context of the hadiths where Israel has already fallen. Because it says in Sahih Muslim Bukhari that when Isa alayhi salam arrives and he will go to pray in the Minar al-Bayda, the white minaret, the army of the Amir is there. The hadith, which is in Abu Dawood, Tirmidhi and others, says that the Dajjal will come from a place towards Al-Aqsa to fight the army of Al-Mahdi, the Muslims yani. And with him there will be 70,000 Jews whose lineage is from Asbahan or Esfahan, which is now called in Iran. And even right now there are Jews who live there, but they are peaceful Jews and they don't agree with all this Zionist stuff. And they're actually called Iranian Jews. They don't call themselves Israeli Jews. But they're from Asfahan. And what this means is they'll come with 70,000 Jews from Asfahan, meaning that they did disperse in the world, but their origins and their lineage is from Asfahan once upon a time. So the Jews are not in Israel.
Did you just listen to his explanation? So another reason they are fighting the Israelites is because they believe that they are the legit Jew. The Israelites are like the fake Jew.
Yeah, the Iranian Jew are the legit
Yeah. Listen to this pastor who thoroughly explains the difference between the beliefs of Muslims and Christians and the coming of Mahdi.
Islam. Here's what they believe. Number one, they believe the Mahdi, their Messiah figure, is the 12th and last Imam. His name is Muhammad al-Mahdi. Number two, he disappeared as a child in 874 AD and is said to be in occultation, which means hidden by God. Number three, they believe he will appear again at the end time to lead a global Islamic revolution, destroy Israel, establish Islamic justice from Jerusalem, and rule the world with Jesus, who they call Isa, returning under him as his assistant or servant. This is modern day belief in Islam. And people like Candace Owens do not fully understand that Islam is not anti-God, but it is certainly anti-Christ. Here is the spirit of the Antichrist, he that does not believe that Jesus came in the flesh, the one that denies the resurrection of the Messiah, the one that denies that Jesus died and rose from the dead, is the spirit of the Antichrist. We've looked everywhere for the Antichrist among the anti-God. We don't realize that the Antichrist will be pro-God, he just will be Antichrist. Or as Daniel said, he will not honor the God of his fathers, but with a foreign God he'll introduce into the land. This isn't theory, it's stated policy in modern day Iran today. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, supreme leader of Iran, said this: the coming of Imam Mahdi, we should prepare the ground for his return. And that's a source from Fast News Agency in 2014. Former President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, in a UN speech, said this: the ultimate promise of all divine religions is a perfect human being who is named Imam al-Mahdi. He will return along with Jesus Christ, Isa, and the righteous. Peace and brotherhood will be ushered in. He even left a chair empty at cabinet meetings for the Mahdi, believing that he was there. And this is why Netanyahu may not be aggressive enough. While Israel strategizes based on missiles, nukes, and military capability, Iran is strategizing based on theology and destiny. And they are fully believing that the Imam cannot come unless the little devil Israel, the big devil America, is destroyed. Iran believes it is paving the way for the Mahdi. And the encumbrance of that paving of the way is America, the big pig, and Israel, the little pig. And in their belief, chaos is necessary for the Mahdi to return. You see, Iran's Messiah sounds a lot like Christians like Candace Owens and myself are Antichrist. Their Mahdi equals our Antichrist. And our Christ, our false prophet, actually in Revelation, may be their Jesus that's coming with the 12th Imam. Can you see how this is playing out? Shiite belief is that hidden Mahdi will return and rule the world from Jerusalem. Christian prophetic parallel says Antichrist will set up rule from Jerusalem, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. The Shiite belief is Mahdi will establish one global religion. Revelation 13:8 says Antichrist will force all to worship him who do not have the mark. You see, Shiite belief in Iran is that the Mahdi will be assisted by Jesus, Isa, who denies the cross. The false prophet of Christianity aids the beast and deceives many, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 to 14. Mahdi, in Shiite Iranian belief, arrival comes through global chaos. You see here, the Antichrist is released through war and deception, according to Daniel chapter 8, verse 23. You see, Iran's Messiah sounds a lot like Christians like Candace Owens and myself are Antichrist. Their Mahdi equals our Antichrist, and our Christ, our false prophet, actually in Revelation, may be their Jesus that's coming with the 12th Imam. Can you see how this is playing out? Shiite belief is that hidden Mahdi will return and rule the world from Jerusalem. Christian prophetic parallel says Antichrist will set up rule from Jerusalem, according to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. The Shiite belief is Mahdi will establish one global religion. Revelation 13:8 says Antichrist will force all to worship him who do not have the mark. You see, Shiite belief in Iran is that the Mahdi will be assisted by Jesus, Isa, who denies the cross. The false prophet of Christianity aids the beast and deceives many, according to Revelation chapter 13, verse 11 to 14. Mahdi, in Shiite Iranian belief, arrival comes through global chaos. You see here, the Antichrist is released through war and deception, according to Daniel chapter 8, verse 23.
Hope you enjoyed the video. And one thing we want to say, just because somebody supports Israel, it doesn't mean they are believers.
No, they're not. Believers that believing that Jesus Christ is the King and he's coming soon.
So let's keep our lamp burning. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. God bless you and see you in another video.
God bless.